God damn.
Yo, everybody. Welcome to our 4th episode. Yeah.
You just had some alcohol, really.
I just took a shot of whiskey for my birthday tomorrow.
For my birthday.
For my birthday tomorrow. Vampires.
He said, she has a skin like a vampire.
I do. I only look like I have some color because of the light here. Oh, and from when I burned myself stupid in Iowa.
Oh, snap.
Okay, but that's another story.
She got a sunburn in the fall in Iowa, and things have been awry since.
Like, oh my God, I'm not even kidding. I take this off. There is a line like on my arm. You can see it. It's like,
oh Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day to be wearing this out in the sun.
I want to watch you try to put it back on.
However long. Oh, you want to hear it? The snap.
Strap. Is it strap on?
It's a snap on.
So it doesn't strap on. It snaps on.
It snaps on.
Okay.
It's a strap that snaps on. Now that we've cleared that up. But yeah, if y'all are kind of paying attention to what we're wearing, it's little clues as to what we want to talk about today.
What?
Oh.
That's right, guys. We're talking about hats. This episode's all about hats.
Hats.
Just kidding.
No, cryptids and cryptids. We thought we would talk about some cryptids with y'all today.
Oh, snap.
What exactly is a cryptid, Lindsay?
Cryptid is a creature studied by cryptozoologists, and I cannot speak right now. Cryptozoology looks at the study of mythological or sort of like legendish unknown creatures that are suspected to exist by some people, but it have not been proven to exist.
Some fringe.
Like our friend. Bigfoot in your face.
In your face.
Mothman.
How right in the kisser.
Jesus.
Oh, and I should probably mention that my swag, at least, the moon ring and the hat, I got from the She-Squatchers while I was in Duluth, Minnesota. They are pretty rad chicks, and they have a YouTube channel, I believe. So if anyone wants to check them out, they're nice people, and they have cool swag.
They do.
We'll throw down a link to their YouTube channel.
Where?
And
Over here?
possibly their Instagram in our information below. We all did stuff with our hands. So yeah, that's why we're wearing our cryptid gear today.
Indeed.
Yeah. And Michael, did you show your
This is getting
shirt?
off to a rocky start, isn't it?
It is. I'm sorry. Oh, he is flashing some stuff over here. More Bigfoot stuff.
I like the color on that, man.
Yeah, I bet, Yeah.
Oh, well, there's a jacket that seems out of place. What? Is that the same team you and I both root for?
I think so. That one today?
Did
a big win?
Was it a win?
Not just a win, but a big
That's seriously a Cowboys jacket?
Yeah, that's what the star is.
I thought it was one of his, like, some military thing.
Well, it's
because it is a.
See, that's what I was like. What? So Mike's all ready to go squatching in his gear. He's got a big ass fucking thermos drinker thingy with him as well. Not that anyone cares.
It's a Yeti. It's almost like that brand.
To be a relative of Bigfoot. I know you're all shocked by this. Unless you're actually folks out there who don't follow all the weird stuff.
We've never heard this. Tell us more.
Then we will
Yeti
have
is more than a cup
for you. We're just going to talk about like pretty much the most well-known, the most common cryptids. But I thought it'd also be fun to look at creatures that used to be on the cryptid list, but have proven to be real.
What?
And it will blow your mind.
Is a golden doodle on there?
Yes.
Fuck, I knew it.
Dude, you're psychic as fuck.
I knew it.
Mhm.
Damn golden doodles.
So, cryptids,
Majestic and
right?
beautiful. Cryptids,
Like,
yes. Like Bigfoot.
I've always been kind of really terrified of cryptids. I don't know how you guys feel about them, but it's always like it's either in the water, which we talked about last week,
not being big fans of water,
or it's in your wilderness isolation, or it's dark.
Yeah.
True.
And a lot of the skeptics will say the same thing with that, but I think that plays into a lot of the fear, that comes along with them too. I don't know. I could be just kind of putting two and two together, but you don't see Bigfoot, crossing the highway at noon.
Right.
So,
Although some people have said they have seen that, but
well, there's a lot more. There's one in particular that I know is you've got a story about, I believe, that most people do see during the day.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. It starts with a C.
So
and ends with
are we
Chupacabra.
It's clearly, Mike, it's C Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
C Chupacabra.
Jesus.
I apologize. I think I'm going to do
renamed
another
it.
shot, so that's just going to be the thing tonight, guys.
Shot.
C
Chupacabra.
Yes, the
So
Chupacabra.
those are typically seen, most sightings are during the day, right?
Well, growing up, from what I've seen, of course, growing up and seeing on TV and whatnot, a lot of people talk about how they've seen it during the day, and some people bust out their cameras to capture whatever it is. But for me, growing up, already in a spooky home when I was a little kid, from kindergarten to third grade, we lived in this house in Riverside, California. And that's where we had kind of like, to me, is the beginning of my paranormal journey. But when my grandma Duarte, on my mom's side, would babysit us, because my mom and dad would go out or whatever, of course, me and my brother and my sister were some rowdy kids. So it get close. It get close to bedtime. She's like, "All right, time to go to bed. Time to go to bed." And we weren't listening, and then she'd say it in Spanish and go on and on. And
that's
that next level.
Exactly.
That's serious. Yeah. That's like using your middle name.
Yeah. And then I
remember comes next.
I remember specifically one time she's like, "Come here, come here." We're like, "Oh shit, we're about to get it."
Come with me.
And we went to her at the kitchen table, and she goes, "If you guys don't go to bed, I'm going to open up your windows, and the Chupacabra is going to come in and it's going to eat you." And I'm not going to do nothing about it.
She seriously said that to you?
Yeah.
It's children.
Yeah. And I was like, "What is the Chupacabra? Like, what is it?" And she's like, "It's like a dog, but like a wolf and the human. So it's almost like a werewolf and blah, blah, blah. It can stand up on its two legs and come at you." And we're like, "What?" I wanted to know.
How old were you when she said this?
Probably around kindergarten, first grade. So I don't know.
Oh, no, Lindsay, my mom.
They would have fucked me for life.
No, dude, my mom did the same thing to my older brother and sister. Told them that she turned into a witch, stood on the toilet because they followed her and looked under and started flipping the light switch off and on, going.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, that's a very mom thing apparently.
I love your mom though.
I'm just saying that's a maternal.
She's a saucy lady. I love her.
It's like, look, if you don't do what I'm asking you to do,
I'm gonna scare the shit out of you.
I'm gonna make you piss your pants, in front of the rest of the family, like that. Yeah, so I get it.
In your place.
And I I didn't know they stood up.
Yeah, they can
That's
stand
news to
up
me.
on their 2 legs, and almost like some people claim they're almost like werewolves, but
Okay.
smaller in height.
Okay.
But it's
Wolfman's
scary.
got nards.
Exactly, I love that movie.
Wait, what?
Monster Squad.
Monster Squad.
Oh, right.
But it's like it scared the crap out of us, and we were already kind of scared in that house because so many things were going on, especially with my sister being pulled off the bed, feeling the hand that had long nails on it pulled her off the bed.
Hard pass.
But yeah, Chupacabra, if you don't go to bed early, I'm gonna let him in through your window and eat your guts out.
But you're not a goat.
Cool.
I guess it doesn't matter to the Chupacabra.
But it's the goat sucker, right?
Right, that's where
Supposed to
it gets its name. Yeah, from
Sucker
what
of
it
goat.
eats.
Hmm.
If only you had known that in kindergarten.
Yeah.
If only you were like an awesome researcher as a kindergartner. Like you would have just...
Yeah. And I guess
Back when the people would come to your door with encyclopedias trying to sell them to you. It was definitely in those.
We had the Encyclopedia Britannica.
We did too.
That's how you did all your research for reports and stuff. Back in the old days, kids.
Yeah,
They were big.
But yeah, the Chupacabra the stories originated in like Puerto Rico, but then folklore led it into Mexico, and then of course that led into like the Latin community, and just it spread. And there's been little pictures here and there, but nothing really. Obviously, it has never been caught.
Like
so,
definitive, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people saying that they have a video of Chupacabra and it's just like a gringo. I meant dingo.
Oh my God.
I meant dingo. That's a white guy? That's not, I mean, that's terrifying, but no, a dingo.
Gringos are bad.
Look, it's a middle-aged southern white guy. What do I do? Ugh!
Girls, watch yourselves. That's all I gotta say.
About what? Me out on the prowl?
Oh, white boys out on the prowl, yes.
Southern white boys.
Southern white boys, especially. They're trouble. That one particularly. Whoops, I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
But who knows what this is actually going to be, where we're going to be at when it's on. The Cookie Swamp Donkey.
The Cookie Swamp Donkey, actually.
The Cookie Swamp Donkey.
Yeah.
The Swamp Donkey cookies. You need to beware of.
That does not sound delicious at all.
No, it does not. It doesn't sound very appealing, does it?
No, it's pretty gross, actually. It's bad. Ugh. But yeah, so Chupacabra.
You have you have more Chupacabra information?
Well, no, I was just going to ask Mike about it. Like, have you seen any of the evidence? I say it in quotations because you never know. But
right.
Well, real quick, I will say, for those still watching or watching at home, we ask that you kind of listen throughout our whole interview. You might hear some EVPs along the way. There's
already heard something. What'd you hear?
3 of them.
Already
before you started talking just now, it was like a kind of noise, but before it was like little talking.
I didn't hear that at all.
I could hear it clear as day.
Was it when I was talking?
No, when it went back to Keith and you asked him, didn't you have more information to say? And Keith was like, yeah, da. And then you hear it. Rah!
Okay, so is that Keith's? I was going to say, I'm going to have even more trouble hearing because I got the damn beanie on my head, so.
Yeah. Well, there's one for you.
Yeah.
I guess. Fucking A.
I was going to say, like.
What was your question?
What we found out was that it could come from any of our houses. Because I always thought it was you guys, but then you were hearing things when I was talking. So if any of you guys think you hear EVPs or you think you see stuff, like you probably won't see stuff here. It's probably more hearing things with me. But those guys, you can see and hear things at their places. So
audio
you
and
catch
video.
Things that we do not. We would love to know what you've spotted, when, and what, or heard. So, yeah.
Yes, but what kind of evidence have you seen?
So through TV, I've only seen like people with like either a night vision camera out and about, and then you see something running by. There's been some photos, but of course they're all grainy. They're all, you can't see nothing.
Blurred, and
it just makes me, wonder, are people trying to, man.
You heard something else, didn't you?
Yes.
I didn't hear a thing.
It was a female voice.
Cheapers, tonight is the night, apparently, man.
Maybe they're interested in cryptids.
It's October. Yes, maybe they're fascinated by this stuff. That's cool.
Could be.
They can join in and listen and hang out. It's all good, as long as they're nice. As long as you're nice and you're of our highest and greatest good, you are allowed to hang out with us. If you are not, you can fuck off. And I'm sorry, but no permission to be in any of our homes if you are not of our highest and greatest goods. Just putting it out there right now. Then now we're covered.
So,
sorry.
With today's technology, you would think that people would have better pictures, video, something that they can post or, gain more attraction about it.
Right.
But they're really not. It's like people, I don't know, people still using, when was the very first camera that you can take a picture on? Was it a BlackBerry or something? Was that 1 megapixel?
In terms of the phones, it probably was BlackBerry.
Yeah, I think so. Or the Palm, one of the two.
So it had like a 1 megapixel kind of photo to it. That's how some of these things are. And on the TV, they'll say, oh, this was captured 2 years ago in Tucson, Arizona. And it's like, really?
But
what kind of phone were they using?
Yeah.
I don't want to generalize, but the majority of people that might be out hunting for Bigfoot probably don't have a 4K setup either.
That is also true. Plus, a lot of the locations, you're out in the middle of nowhere, or you're in the woods, or
now,
the
if we got Nat Geo or somebody involved,
right? That's another situation.
I mean, think about like even with our phones, like we have newer phones. If I went out and tried to zoom at night, if I'm 100 yards away from something that I can see, or even 50, and I try to zoom in low light, it's going to be shit, no
You're
matter
out
how.
in the country, yeah, or
that
out in the woods, out in the mountains, out in wherever, you're not going to have.
Thermal might be the only thing worth a damn at night.
Probably.
Because
Yeah.
IR is still going to give you a bunch of false positives if there's reflection or.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I have a Cabela's up here, which is a hunting, fishing, and whatnot kind of superstore. And you can get a trail cam that's a 4K for night vision.
Yeah.
And it's only $80. So, and the quality is great. It's supposed to be better than the quality on our phones. Like 24 megapixels.
And it's activated by movement too.
Yeah.
Isn't that how they spotted like a mountain lion in some town or something? Someone had trail cams in their yard or something?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, a lot of people get them and use them just for like their home. And
for security, yeah. It's cheaper than the whole bundle, all the home security crap.
Yeah.
So why not bundle it?
Bundle it.
We mentioned Bigfoot at the beginning of this.
Yes.
And we still haven't talked about like the granddaddy of all cryptids. We haven't even brought him up other than like our introduction. You know about Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
Not the truck.
No. This guy.
That guy.
This homie right here. And this, which I didn't say earlier, is a mood ring for all you folks who are fascinated with mood rings. Shout out to the She-Squatchers. Love you. But yeah. The origin of Bigfoot, actually, I have right here.
Yeah.
I have right
He has an origin story?
He has an origin story. Yes, he does.
I did not know that.
Yes. I mean, we all know pretty much the basics, how he's huge. People say like 7 to 10 feet tall on average.
10 feet?
7 to 10 feet.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What would you do if you saw a 10-foot fucking... 7 feet's bad enough, but 10 feet? That's different level.
Freeze.
That's Jurassic Park shit.
That might be a freeze situation.
I
honestly don't know.
If I'm armed,
that's a different situation. Yeah.
I might be afraid that what I'm about to do is not going to do much. So I'll be aiming for the legs and then take off running. But
and actually, this might happen fairly often now since I've heard a Tenny lecture that was fantastic. But he was mentioning how, because when people were like, how come nobody has actually gotten like a Bigfoot specimen or like killed a Bigfoot, because it's usually hunters who find them. But it's because since they're bipedal and stand upright, a lot of times your mind goes to this could be a person. So you're not going to try to shoot at it because you're thinking this could be a human being. And obviously you don't want to kill another person. So
exactly.
I don't know how their sexual preference has anything to do with it, but...
What?
I said I don't know how their sexual preference has anything to do with this. You said they get mistaken for humans because they're bisexual.
I said they're bipedal.
Bipedal.
Same thing, right?
Like, no.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, same thing. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Oh, that one just didn't fucking fall at all, did it? That apple's still in the tree somewhere, and I'm just like,
you know how horrible my memory is. I don't remember what I said 5 seconds ago.
No, that was just... That's one that went up here but didn't translate this way, is all that is. We're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that happening.
Up here, I was like, a yuck, and then it came out, and y'all were like, the fuck are you saying?
I can relate.
Yeah.
Too well to that, so.
Yeah.
So we'll cry about that later and talk about
Bigfoot
now.
they get mistaken for humans. Like, people are afraid to shoot because they think it might be a human.
Yeah. I mean, that's what your first thought is. If you're in the woods, especially like hunters, what you're going after. I don't know what that was. There was a flash in the back of you.
Yeah, your whole lights.
And that light went out.
Yep.
Something.
That light went out, and then the one over on your left shoulder flicked. It went dim, and then now it's bright. Like, it might go out too.
It's an active night. Hello, October.
Oh, did it go on?
Yep, now it's back on.
Okay.
I was going down there to see if it might have come unplugged, but it's on the same shit that everything else is, so I wouldn't be here.
So yes, Bigfoot. And I mean, obviously named because like the first evidence found were tracks of huge feet that look like human, but they were measured up to, I think it was 20 or 24 inches long and about 8 inches wide is the biggest.
That's foot?
For the feet, yeah.
Okay.
Now for the origin story.
You know how big my feet are.
Yes.
I wear a 14 wide or 15, right?
Yes. You
that's
have
13.
A lot of trouble with finding.
No, I'm just saying, for perspective, that's 13 and a half inch from toe to heel on me. They're
Holy
twice
shit.
that.
That's a good, yeah, for perspective and stuff.
Yeah, just to think, like, me in a size 15, my foot
you want to
is
show
13
us
and a half.
And the viewers
I don't think I can.
No.
Here, I'll do this.
Everyone's like, no. Oh my God, that's your slipper? Can you bring in an animal to put for?
How about
to put by the? Oh my God. Okay, yeah, that works.
And that's 13 and a half inches. So think about that foot on that fucking Bigfoot. It's not just a clever name. It's just not a clever name, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory.
I didn't think they were that big. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's like 2 feet long for a foot, and then nearly
almost
about like that wide. That's freaking insane.
That's crazy.
It's
So,
literally the width of both my feet together and the length of both of them toe to heel.
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Mm.
Freaking insane. So the origin story of Bigfoot was okay, so it's August 27th, 1958. And a bulldozer operator for Northern California Logging Company made a discovery. His name was Jerry Crew, and he was clearing away brush and stumps near Bluff Creek, about 300 miles north of San Francisco. And when he was doing that, he found enormous man-like footprints in the mud. And it shocked him, obviously. So he told this to some of his coworkers and found out that several of them have also seen the same footprints. So it's like, what the hell? There was a local newspaper that picked up the story. So news of their sighting was published in the local Humboldt Times. Giant footprints puzzle residents along Trinity River was the headline. And the article was October 5th, 1958. And that story contained the first recorded use of the name Bigfoot.
Really?
So that's
the first recorded sighting and naming?
at least naming.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure. Probably sightings of like big human-like footprints. There's probably way earlier than that. But in terms of the name that we use today, it was first used in 1958. But this is the other thing. So years after this is 2002, one of Jerry Crew's coworkers, let's see, what was his name? Ray Wallace passed away at the age of 84 in 2002. And his children told the story, Wallace's secret that he kept for decades, that it was a hoax. He went out there with wooden feet and stamped them into the mud just as like a prank and a joke for, I don't know specifically if it was for his coworkers. That's kind of the vibe I was getting when I read about it. But nonetheless, today Bigfoot is still, it's like more than ever. People are just, they believe in Bigfoot, and more sightings are happening and being recorded and everything. So it's interesting.
I've always wondered with Bigfoot, like if that's some kind of experiment, not like.
That's one of the theories, that it could be a military experiment.
Not that so much as in more of a biological, like we always hear about, the missing link. And they've always, when you study evolution and you look at the DNA and the changes.
That's another theory too, yep.
Like what if they tried to splice the DNA to find the missing link and that's the result? That's
okay.
Just
See, that's
a theory.
Different than what I was thinking. Okay, because one of the theories, and this, there's some scientists that think that Bigfoot could be a living, okay, now bear with, Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus, a giant ape that died about 100,000 years ago. And for whatever reason, Bigfoot is one of these creatures that managed to survive extinction or whatever.
Or maybe just like the evolution of Gigantopithecus, maybe in a way that. And that's what people say about Nessie too, though, is that like she's, she's some kind of
prehistoric dinosaur.
Yeah, that hadn't died out that we thought had.
Right, and
or that maybe
with that breed or that dinosaur
Plagiasaurus.
Huh?
Plagiasaurus.
I think that's it.
Is there? I know Bigfoot is primarily like Pacific Northwest, right? I mean, that's where everything originated. That's where. But I know there's other variations. I guess you'd say.
Like in Florida, I believe it is. Yeah. In southeastern areas of the U.S., it's there's a similar creature that's referred to as the skunk ape. There's
But
that.
it's the same.
I believe so, yes.
In the Florida area.
Yeah.
Like in the swamplands and all that?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what they would refer to it as. And then there's what's believed to be a relative of the Bigfoot or Sasquatch out in the Himalayas, which is the Yeti. And basically kind of the same idea, but more whitish to gray in color to blend in with the snow in the mountains. And it's also believed that it's spotted less often than the Bigfoot because the Himalayas, I mean, that's obviously not an area where as many people are going to be going because it's not very good.
Luke Skywalker killed one on Hoth.
That is very true.
Very true.
That is true.
I mean, that's what I've always pictured. I know it's weird because it's not, but I've always been like, that's a Yeti.
Yeah, that's what I always thought too. Yep.
And then he had to go sleep in the Tauntaun.
We love our Star Wars.
But
I know that was sad.
Yeah. So Yetis are. I've heard about Yetis too that they can be more. I don't want to say violent, but more standoffish and aggressive.
Oh, really?
I've always heard that.
I know there's been different viewpoints on Bigfoot with that too, in terms of being aggressive and being more standoffish. Like, it just kind of seems to be all over the place. But the other differences, at least in appearance, that I had read about for the Yeti is that it tends to, even though it's a larger creature, in relation to Bigfoot, it's shorter and it's stockier. And I think I had read that the head almost, it looks bigger, almost more kind of like pumpkin-like on the shoulders. So
really, like
wider,
broad shoulders, wide head.
Yeah. So not as much as like a neck that you might spot on a Bigfoot or Sasquatch kind of thing. So stockier and just.
Yeah, they just seem scarier to me. I don't know why. It's like you're shorter and you're like you hang out in Frozen.
It's like the
but
short.
I'm more scared of you.
Super buff in Prison Yard.
Yeah, Prison Mike. I'm more afraid. Like I would much rather run into a Bigfoot than a Yeti. I don't know why. Yetis just seem like mean bastards.
Yeah, I would think, like a Bigfoot being in the wilderness would have more food options and whatnot. Yeah. But Yeti out in the snow, cold, food might be scarce. And so when they see a human, then they're like, ooh, food.
And let's be real, they could eat off me for a week. So, like, I think a Yeti would be more interested in me because, like, of the amount of food that he would get. He doesn't have to. I mean, he's refrigerated already.
That's
so
true.
I'm not.
The outdoors is just a giant refrigerator. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil.
I don't know if I would be more afraid of one than the other. I've never really thought about that.
I don't know. They just seem, and also that. Okay, so we talked about phobias last time in my animatronics. Whatever, claymation is up there in that little group.
Oh.
And yeah, it's cringe to me. I'm not like afraid of it. I'm just like, ugh. Right. And those Christmas movies from way back in the day with the fucking Yeti, that might be why I think that.
Probably, most likely.
That would make the most sense. But
do they call it a Yeti in that show or the Abominable Snowman?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one. I don't know that I've watched it long enough.
I think they called it the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah, I think so too.
And those names are interchangeable for Yeti, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Yetis are just terrifying to me. I just whatever. But
and I have to make a list of the things that terrify you because.
And
I mean, I've pretty much like you've got them all.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I'll
Yeah.
forget them.
No, you won't. There's like 4.
Still, that's my memory blows. Yeah, that's too
Okay.
many.
And I'll say, bringing up the Patterson Gimlin film of 1967?
Was it 67?
Yeah, I think it was 67. But that's like the holy grail of film.
Yeah, that's the Zapruder film for.
Yeah. But weirdly enough, there was a documentary that came out on the Hulu platform that everyone thought was going to be about Bigfoot. Even the title made it seem like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But it ended up being some guy who was a former drug addict looking for 3 guys who were purportedly murdered by Bigfoot. And it turns out that it wasn't actually Bigfoot that murdered them, but another rival gang member. Anyway, for some reason, I'll get to that. I know, right? So for some reason, they included, I believe, Patterson and Gilman. And I guess they've been feuding for years about that videotape. And now Gilman basically has come out and said, oh, it was fake. I was dressed up in the outfit and walked across there while he filmed it. So now he's saying it's fake, that they faked it.
There are also, I've seen a special, I could not tell you which one it is, but it's where they, like how we'll do the like the mapping when you're doing investigations, like with a Kinect, whatever, it maps the points, like joints and structure and everything of that Bigfoot in that film.
Yeah.
And the way it moved, the way its legs bent, things like that, there's no way this is just someone wearing a costume. We're not saying it's not fake, but this is not a human being in a costume.
Right.
Yeah. So Patterson says it was real, and that Gimlin is saying that it's fake because he never got the dues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so whereas Patterson went on to do interviews and books and documentaries and all this other stuff, Gimlin
so the bitter stuff. Yeah.
And so for whatever reason, that was included in this documentary. That was just
insane.
It was trash to me.
Bigfoot he's not really. You think about Bigfoot in movies, right? And the only thing that comes to mind is Harry and the Hendersons.
Yep.
I can't think of another Bigfoot movie. But on the flip side of that, we go back to me being a Southern boy. There's a kind of a Bigfoot creature down here in these parts.
What could that be?
Well, this fella's name is the Fawk.
What?
Can you say that one more time?
The Fawk. No, I hate the way people mispronounce it sometimes because it makes me giggle.
The Fawk.
There's a city in Arkansas that is in the southwest corner, like Texarkana area, where Texas and Arkansas meet, that whole stretch. It's called Falk. And I don't even think there's 1,000 people that live there. But I want to say it was early 1900s. There's a creek that runs underneath, like when you think old backwoods highway that's 2-lane with a bridge and like a creek running underneath it, that's Boggy Creek. And there was actually a movie based off of the Falk Monster called Legend. I think it was Legend of Boggy Creek.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. In the 70s.
Okay. Now that name I recognize.
Yeah. So that is based on it, and it takes place in Southwest Arkansas.
So those are both the names of the same thing.
Yeah, the Boggy Creek is the Falk Monster. And
okay.
I mean, it's very similar. It's got a primate definite look to it, but the thing that stuck out to me the most, and it's going to lead into one I want you to talk about after this, Mike. But the Falk Monster has been reported to have glowing red eyes. when people see
Oh,
it.
really?
So imagine, yeah, it's like a maybe 7 feet, 300, 400 pound ape-ish primate looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone reports red glowing eyes when they see it,
Whoa.
which is a twist that I haven't.
More light flashing at Keith's
That's
house.
like the
Yeah.
fourth or fifth.
Anyway,
What's Mike seeing or hearing?
I don't know if you want me to tell you,
I don't.
Me? Or Keith?
Keith.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, please. With my back to everything, I just don't want to.
Okay.
So the Fouke monster is pretty much Bigfoot and Mothman mix.
The red
when
eyes
you-
with the Bigfoot.
It's less human and more humanoid,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like, Bigfoot, you can see
Right.
a lot of human features. This one, like, it's some kind of animal. But it's bipedal, and from a distance has a lot of similar characteristics as like a Bigfoot or a Yeti,
Mm-hmm.
but just the face and the behaviors apparently are so different. And there aren't many photographic, if any. I've never seen
Anything.
a photo.
Yeah.
But there are people that are like pastors and police officers and all of that in the area that swear by like having, a run-in with this thing. So
Wow.
it's not like Fouke is a city that's like money coming in from everywhere because of tourism for it. They still have a small amount. I think they have like one little like old gas station that has an area dedicated to like souvenirs, like the Fouke monster and Boggy Creek stuff and all that. But
only one little gas station?
I mean, you've got a town of like literally, Lindsay, I think it's between 800 and 900 people. Like it's
no, I get that.
small.
It's just usually when like there's alleged sightings of something, like it brings people in. So I would think that there would be more merchant stuff.
Well, they said a lot of people come down and stop by and visit, but I would assume it's just right there off I-30. If you're going from Fort Worth to Dallas to Little Rock to keep taking 30 up, it takes you into Tennessee. I mean, that's a long stretch that a lot of people travel if they're taking some kind of road trip. So that's more than likely where most of the visitors would come in for it. But it's always been a thing. And, Arkansas, we don't get a whole lot of representation for a lot of things that are cool, at least. But that's one of them that has always been like, hey, we've got this. We got Walmart, Tyson, and Fouke monster. That's something. Bill Clinton's in there too.
Oh.
But what else do we have? Scottie Pippen played at UCA, but we have our own red-eyed Bigfoot. So that's a cool one. But the red eyes is what makes me kind of wonder if there might be some sort of link or connection with another red-eyed cryptid that flies around. It might be an omen of bad news.
Could be.
But yeah, so that's what makes me kind of wonder if there might be some sort of connection. It's far-fetched, but with Mothman. And you hear about Mothman, there's a lot of things that were not accurate that the movie
of course
added in.
Right.
I mean, cinematic.
Hollywood's gonna
just like all the Conjuring movies and all that, they take this and make it that, when this was pretty rad anyway. But essentially what happened was there were reports they said it was like a 7 to 8 foot, almost looked like a man with huge wings that would fly. And it caught, there's 2 couples on the same night was the first sighting in Point Pleasant. Is it Virginia or West Virginia?
think it's West Virginia.
Yeah, it's Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Yeah. So in Point Pleasant, it was in the late 60s, and same night, both these couples experienced it. There have been a ton of interviews with people from that area that had, in that time frame, experienced sightings as well. Like, I remember one in particular. It was a woman who, her kitchen window over her sink, you know, she was doing dishes or whatever, and she said she saw this shadow that stood, like his head lined up with the first branch on the tree. So she was like, and I know that was between 7 and 8 feet from the ground.
Oh my God.
And she said there was just, it looked like a man, but just a really tall man. And then it opened its eyes, and it was just this red piercing glow that almost...
The red eyes creep me out.
Like, she said it wasn't hypnotic, and it wasn't like, it didn't put her in a trance, but she felt like there was something to those eyes that was looking into her deeper than anything else just with two eyes would.
Oh, the look into your soul kind of
yeah, like it kind of felt like there was some sort of an intimate connection there, in the sense that it's, you know,
hypnotic,
closer. Yeah.
Telepathic, getting into your mind kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it flew off.
Yeah.
And then shortly after a lot of these sightings, I believe it was on Christmas Eve, there was a bridge in Point Pleasant. I believe it connected it to another, so was it Ohio? I think it connected it to.
Maybe.
I'm not 100.
Sure what it connects to, but I remember hearing about the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but it's the Silver Bridge, and it collapsed, and it was less than 100, but more than 50, I believe, that passed because of that collapse on Christmas Eve.
I think it was 60 something.
That's what I want to say, but I'm not 100%.
Right. Yeah.
And the Mothman wasn't seen in Point Pleasant again after that. So there's this theory
I don't remember that either. Man.
Yeah. So there's this theory that the Mothman is some sort of cryptid that's like a harbinger of disaster, or maybe like a bad tidings, or he's either there for a warning, or
like
he's there because he's causing it.
Type thing.
Do what?
Could possibly be like a death omen type thing.
Yeah. Like the argument is he there because it's happening, or is he causing it?
Oh, right.
It's one of those toss-ups with it. But you hear the Indrid Cold and all the phone calls and stuff. There's no real documentation of anything like that. That's the character arc for the story to tie everything together, obviously. But, I mean, it was... I told you guys about the shadow that Austin and I, when we were like 20, and what it did, like how we just had this
frozen
fear. It was
fear.
like a time slip.
Right, but it wasn't fear. It was a level of fear that almost paralyzed you, but not, you weren't scared.
Right.
It was very hyper aware and not in control.
Yeah.
And that's the same type of feel that people talk about with Mothman. So I just had to throw that in a little bit, because the red eyes kind of made me wonder, you know?
I wouldn't think they're related, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like we can know really any of this stuff. I mean, there's so many theories for all of them too, and everything. Like like the theories with Bigfoot, which I mean would work for theories of the other ones, like Loch Ness Monster or Mothman or whatever. It's like, are they interdimensional? Like, are they just animals that we have not yet identified and gotten enough evidence of?
So yeah, going off of what Lindsay said, I mean, there's like some theories. You talk about interdimensional. I mean, one key example is people following these Bigfoot tracks. And they go out to this open field, and then they disappear. There's no more tracks. So they're like, where the hell did it go to? Because the tracks...
Did it damp away? What happened?
So there's, theories of, what if it's aliens? What if
Right. It could be extraterrestrial too.
Was brought here, they made Bigfoot in another planet, wherever, and then brought him here to basically observe him like a pet. I don't know. And so after a period of time, they come down, pick him up, and then, because a lot of theories too is when Bigfoot is seen, some people see orbs or white orbs in the wood line.
Do they really?
Oh yeah, there's more UFO activity when sightings of Bigfoot occur. I forgot about that. Yeah. So there's so many different.
So what if they are? I mean, that's. I wonder if there's any that coincide with Mothman.
I mean, the government just admitted last year that the UFOs do exist.
Thanks, Blink 182 guy.
So
they've admitted it before. It's just there's I don't know.
They keep that on the down low, but now it's out there, and so
it's more out there now. I guess I don't know why it's.
But is it?
I don't know. It's always weird.
Is it going to be another 50, 60 years before you hear, oh, by the way, Bigfoot, he comes from planet Zoobidoo in whatever.
I've been there, dude. It's nice.
Is it? Probably nice.
Yeah.
Great vacation spot. Yeah.
So it's just, I think our eyes are more open now to certain things. And so what I grew up believing in Bigfoot being this, prehistoric type ape man.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can see, because of believing in UFOs and aliens and knowing that we are but like a tiny little salt grain in the whole universe, that there has to be other life out there.
Yeah.
And to say that aliens don't come down and drop off these things to do something with the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm more inclined to think it's more of an interdimensional than extraterrestrial, but
that's what I wondered.
They walk a fine line, between the two.
Could be.
But it's just that I don't see, if you look at the Mothman side of it, I don't see how aliens would show up to talk about 60 people dying on a bridge. I think there's more intention and purpose behind. Now, I'm not saying that for Bigfoot. Bigfoot could be, because he's not just Bigfoot walking down the streets of New York City on September 10th, 2001. You don't have shit like that happening.
Yeah.
But you have Mothman coinciding. So it's I don't know. There's something to that one that just.
Yeah.
And there's got to be some sort of connection with the eyes. That just.
I actually came across a list of animals or other kinds of creatures
that were believed to be in this classification.
That were classified as cryptids and then later found to be real. So.
Bring it.
I thought these would be fun to tell you guys to see if
absolutely
shock you or not. I know you know of one of them already, which is
one?
The kangaroo.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Was that in our text thread?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to.
Don't look at that. I'm I want to tell you guys.
I had to flip through certain parts of it because of previous day's activity or the day's activities.
Okay.
So I didn't get full read. I did the.
Okay.
So that was really one.
Yep, kangaroo was one.
Wow.
And I will.
Do we know a time frame?
I'll pull this up. Man. Kangaroo. It's hard to believe that kangaroos were once cryptids. The first description of a kangaroo was made by Amerigo Vespucci. It sounds like an Italian name. In 1499. When he was traveling along the southern coast of Australia. He described it as a monstrous beast with the head of a fox, the hands of a man, the tail of a monkey, and a bag that it used to carry its young.
Interesting.
So, I mean, that's kind of funny when you hear of how we describe other cryptids now. It's always monstrous something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you never know. I mean, Bigfoot could be a chill dude who's just like, there aren't many of them. And he just prefers not to be around people. Like,
Bigfoot
I
could be
don't
a chill
know.
dude.
He could be a chill dude who's just
He
like,
could be
I
the
want to be
fucking
by
kangaroo.
myself.
You guys are losing your shit over a kangaroo.
Yeah. It's funny to think about, but I mean, that happens because I mean, scientists are still discovering new species every single day, especially with like the oceans. It's like, don't even get started on the oceans. Like, we've only seen or like researched or scientists have only seen what 0.3% of the whole freaking the world's oceans or something. I don't know. It's something really
That's another
low.
reason oceans freak me out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Open water and crap. Yeah. Let's see. It says in 1629, Francisco Pelsert actually captured a kangaroo, but it died on the voyage. So it wasn't until Sir Joseph Banks, a name I can pronounce, but I can't say name. Oh my God.
Joseph Banks, like the clothing guy?
If so, it's not saying in this article. I have no idea.
Joseph A. Banks.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him either.
He makes suits. That's fine. Continue.
He's like,
That's a real thing. People watching this are going to go, I know what he's talking about. Whatever. I'm done with you.
maybe it's
Continue.
a southern thing. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that sounds like a southern name, doesn't it? Joseph A. Banks.
No, it doesn't, but I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I don't know around here. And if Mike isn't aware of him out in Washington, I don't know. He's gonna look it up now. He's all irritated and Googleizing over there. Sir Joseph Banks rediscovered the kangaroo on Captain Cook's voyage in 1770 that the kangaroo changed from an enjoyable myth to an actual species. So kangaroo, that one really shocked me.
Me too. Joseph A. Banks was founded in Fremont, California, by the way. Continue.
All right, suspense.
Not my California.
Yeah.
That's a different California. Okay. What else is on there?
Another one is the platypus.
That one I can see. That one doesn't
That
stop
one
me.
I understand, but they're also so cute.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
No, they are cute, but I could also
But I
understand how
like,
someone could be like,
a mammal with like
that
a
rat has a
or
duck on
something.
his face. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like at night, maybe. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
I could understand.
That one I can
people
see.
would be like, "What the fuck" with that one.
Yeah.
I think they're cute though.
All right.
That could be a Netflix documentary about murder.
The platypus murderers.
Mm-hmm. I thought he was killed by this gopher duck thing,
Go for
but I'm
it.
obviously fucked up out of my mind, and it was just a rival gang.
Oh my
All right,
God.
we'll film it next week. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Just like how we decided to do this podcast. Fuck it, let's do it.
I've already got the script done up here.
Oh my God. Okay, the giant squid.
That I can see. That's the
Which I
Kraken.
can see that as well. Kraken kind of thing. Is that what you just
Yeah.
said? Release
Yep.
the Kraken. Yes.
Release the Kraken.
Giant squid. Komodo dragon. I can understand that one as well. Because they're pretty
They're
great.
like, yeah, they're pretty big. They're like bigger than gators, aren't they?
I don't know. I just know they're
No.
huge.
But
Huh?
they're close
They
to it.
get pretty big though.
They're big.
Yeah.
There's an island with a lot of them on there.
An island, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't-
Galapagos?
A
Is
lot
that
of
where-
them. Yeah, I think so.
where
I don't want to go there.
Me
You
either.
don't want to go there.
You need to go on a boat to get there, so no.
Mm-mm.
True, yeah. Ugh.
Discover all new kind of shark that has a fucking duck bill that eats you.
Oh, which makes me think of another one that's
Okay.
on here that was proven to be real, which has been a more recent thing. I haven't looked these up or anything, but the narwhal that was thought to
Fuck
be
off. That's not real.
No, it's found to be real. I am not kidding. When I found out it was real, like 2-3 years ago or something. I was like, I thought this was all bullshit, and it was like a magical unicorn on the head of a dolphin or something. I don't know.
Fuck off! It's real.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm looking at it. Oh my god.
Yes, this is why I wanted to do this when we were filming, because I'm like, I want to see your actual reactions.
No.
Yep.
It's like a manatee swordfish.
Yep.
Fuck. It's called the unicorn of the sea, a pale-colored porpoise found in Arctic coastal waters and rivers.
Isn't that rad?
And that is on the National Geographic website.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I have never seen that until now.
Fuck right off with that. When was that?
Well, I only became aware of it in the last few years. And it shocked the hell out of me because I know there was a time period where it was like, there were especially like a lot of gifs of like narwhals and shit happening online, and people talking about narwhals and all this stuff and how it's, and it seemed more like, what's that cat? Is it Poutine?
Yeah, Poutine.
The one with the rainbow behind it and stuff?
Poutine.
Right. That cat and like narwhal and stuff I would see all over the place. And narwhals are real.
Does that mean Poutine's real?
I hope so. Because I would
Mike's shaking his head. Why is he shaking his head?
Because I'm like in disbelief. Like, I'm like, is this real?
And then the last one, I will grab, or I will show you a picture of, because it's not as, like, the name isn't as familiar. The okapi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it says it's also known as the forest giraffe. The okapi is a blend of a zebra, donkey, deer, and antelope, yet its closest genetic link is giraffes. And I've seen these at the zoo. So,
okapi?
I always do this wrong. Ugh.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I've never seen anything like that either.
I've seen them at zoos.
That's a Frankenstein dog.
So that is also a critter that has.
What is it called?
It's OKAPI.
Okapi.
Yeah. There
Nope.
You go. Okay.
Never seen anything like that in my life. I think that's the chupacabra.
Dude, who knows? I mean, I remember seeing them at zoos. And then let's see, there might be one little dude. Oh yeah, that I did not put on the list because I had no idea how to say the name. Bandegazu.
Oh yeah.
One of the ancestral spirits of the Moni people in Western Papua New Guinea. You're a liar.
Yeah, obviously.
Wasn't until the 1980s that Tim Flannery, an Australian scientist, took the first picture of one. Let's see. He identified the animal as a tree-dwelling marsupial that looked like a tiny man. It has black and white fur and even walks on two legs. Unfortunately, this little dude is on the endangered species list. And I always go the wrong way.
Koala bear?
Yeah, it looks like a fucking koala bear.
No, it's not a koala.
Looks like a koala bear that got bit by a bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I expected more out of that one. It doesn't look anything like a man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like what the...
Looks like a goddamn koala bear.
When you hear the old description of what a kangaroo was, a monstrous beast with man hands, like...
I dated her.
You dated her. I've seen her on Tinder before.
I did not swipe.
I swiped
right.
left.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, narwhals are real, guys.
That's the biggest takeaway in this whole show for me.
Wow.
I was hoping one of them would be like throw you off.
Not the koala bear, the narwhal.
Yes, the narwhal.
Like a damn
And
dolphin with a lightsaber on its head.
You can, right? I know Mike's gonna be looking shit up when we're done here.
I'm already.
Yeah, because I can see the gears going. He's just like, all right, let's find more shit on this because I don't know if this is really a thing. I'm not sure it's really a thing. All right, folks. So Keith is frozen in his happy little facial expression over there. Don't let it freak you out. Yeah, come back and hang out with us next time if we didn't scare you or annoy you. Yeah. Too much. We hope
Too much.
you enjoyed this randomness that occurs when we get together. And yeah. Check us out next time when we talk about whatever the hell we figure out to talk about. We will be figuring out a schedule of topics. Finally. We're getting going, folks. We're getting going. Jesus Christ.